All right.
Welcome back. Welcome back.
Good morning, Connecticut. This is the Daily Sports Rant.
Indeed it is.
Our first Tuesday morning show ever.
And I'm very tired.
Tim is very tired, and I'm very excited.
I'm so tired right now.
Well, I was woken up about an hour and a half ago by a skunk and a raccoon fighting.
Yeah.
So
You were telling me about that. It sounds like a great story. Great way to wake up your day.
Well, 5:30, we'll hear the squealing, screeching of a skunk being attacked, and Courtney just jumps up out of bed and goes to look, and we get to see the skunk spray the raccoon, and then we get to smell it for the next hour. So
gotta love it.
I've been up and ready to go.
Yeah,
so.
no kidding. I mean, I kind of rolled out of bed, just stumbled into the shower, and here I am.
Just walked down.
Oh yeah, I was tired. Didn't get the nap yesterday, so it's just a mess.
Ooh, that's bad.
Yeah. But hopefully today I'll get a nice little nap in.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm feeling a nap or not, but kind of wide awake here already.
I mean, I can see you're wide awake. Yeah.
I actually went to bed reasonably early too. So
me too. It's just no nap kills me.
No nap. Yeah. Well, I definitely took a nap last Wednesday when we were complaining about.
I took like a 2-hour nap last Wednesday. It was great.
I had an 8 a.m. then just went right back to sleep.
Yeah.
So.
Oh yeah, gotta love the naps.
All right, so we have a big day today. I'm excited because there's just so much going on in the sports world right now.
There's a decent amount going on right now, yeah.
There's 8 days to March, so that's the start of March Madness soon.
Which is awesome.
There's going to be halfway through NBA season, starting with the All-Star Game very shortly.
Yeah. How do you feel about the All-Star Game?
I think it's exciting. Not the All-Star Game. I like the competitions.
I like the competitions. The All-Star Game itself stinks.
Basically the only thing I tune into.
Yeah.
But in the other, at the other side, it's a lot better than the NFL one.
Well, yeah. NFL is.
The NFL Pro Bowl is just
who cares?
Horrendous. And
who cares?
You know what? I think we should do a show about that at some point.
Yeah, just how
there
bad
has to be
that is.
some way that they can make the NFL Pro Bowl better.
Yeah, they really do. Because obviously, NFL's most popular sport in America at this point, and nobody watches the Pro Bowl, which is ridiculous.
I like the players getting the recognition for the Pro Bowl, but
yeah.
I don't know. At this point, I don't even need to watch it.
No one needs to watch it. No one cares.
All right, well, so we got the NBA halfway through the season.
Yeah.
Yesterday, pitchers and catchers reported.
Yes.
So that's exciting. We're about a month away from the start of MLB.
I can't wait. Can't wait.
Tim's a little giddy over here. So we still got our MLB preview. We'll be doing the Arizona Diamondbacks and San Francisco Giants today.
Yep.
And the NFL it's Combine week for the NFL. So
is it?
Yeah, there's a lot going on. The Combine starts tomorrow, and it runs till the 29th, 27th, something.
I don't know.
About a week. Let's just put it that way.
Nice.
So we'll be, trying to cover that. That's a little tougher, but we're going to be bringing basically the team needs of every single team and what they need to do this offseason. We're going to try to start bringing you a little NFL every day. But mainly we're going to be talking about baseball just because that's coming up.
So it's coming up.
So we'll try to give you a little bit of everything. But to start us off, the Nets came into Madison Square Garden and beat the Knicks 100-92.
They won a game. They won a game.
They are
Bottom
now
line.
10-24 for the season. Yes, they are.
Gotta love it. Got the double digits, toes. Loving it.
Big Nets fan over here.
Oh yeah.
While the Knicks fall to, I believe, 16-17 for the year, and just can't get that game over 100. They haven't been 500. Excuse me. Haven't been over 500 since the 12th of January.
Yeah.
So it's
disappointing.
It is disappointing for the Knicks. It's a sign of approval or excitement for the Nets.
Yeah.
To win a game in such a long time. I mean, they're the ones who really started off the insanity in New York. So
definitely, yeah. I mean, and then Carmelo came back last night. I talked a little bit about it yesterday about how I was a little worried about the poor Nets and having the Knicks on full. The full team was there. I thought they were. I got destroyed.
They had their full starting lineup. What I think killed them is the fact that Shumpert was out.
Yeah,
who's a good defensive player.
Definitely.
And I don't know if Tyson Chandler was hurting or not, but he did have X-rays on his back and wrists the day before. So, we'll eventually see the Knicks at full force. But yes, their starting lineup was intact. Yeah. And it didn't look bad for the game I watched.
Yeah, they didn't look too bad. No, I mean Lynn, I thought definitely played pretty solid yesterday. He only had 3 turnovers.
Hey, he kept his turnovers down.
He did keep the turnovers down. He was getting up there for a triple double too.
He was almost there.
So
how many? He had 9 assists and 7 rebounds.
Yeah, 21 points. 4 steals, so that's a solid game from
from a point guard stance. That's
very solid.
I'll take that, and even if he didn't get 21 and got 16,
I would take that any day of the week.
If he's dishing the ball out to players and getting everyone involved,
because he is a point guard, so that is what you like to see. Right. The whole passing deal.
You see either the passing first point guard or you see the shooting point guard.
Yeah.
There's Derrick Rose, who's basically the leader and the shooter of the team, or you see people like Jeremy Lin, Deron Williams, and Chris Paul, and
Nash.
We got
Nash.
Nash is
can't forget Nash.
He's the number 1 passing point guard. So
Rondo.
So Deron Williams just exploded for 38 points.
He was insane last night.
He basically carried that team and won the game for them, hitting 8 of his 3-point shots.
Yeah, I mean, I think I was tied for second in Nets history for threes in a game, tied with Anthony Morrow. I forget who was first, but
so the Nets have this great point guard.
Yeah.
If you are the owner, the general manager, what do you do with him at this point?
I mean, at one point I thought that he would come back, but now it's not really looking too good in terms of him returning. So it's questionable what you do, because I feel like he's not really saying exactly what he's doing, so you don't want to jump the gun and try to trade him or just to get something for him, because if you don't trade him and he leaves and you trade and you look back at that trade and you get rid of all those guys and end up with nothing,
right?
Then you're just starting way back. And I mean, they're already struggling as it is, and if you just start all the way back in the Stone Age, then that's going to be a mess.
So at this point, it's either Deron said he wants to leave, or he didn't say he wants to. It said he's not going to sign an extension.
Yeah.
So he's going to test free agency this coming year. At that point, it feels like to me I want to trade him and get the best value, because just looking down in Florida with the Magic and Dwight Howard, he's clearly not going back to Orlando.
No, he's out. Definitely out.
They're looking to trade him just because they need something in return.
Yeah,
so
I agree with that.
If you're the Nets, you want to get the most out of it. Obviously, he's a great player.
Great player.
What can you get for him?
Exactly.
And you can either let him leave free agency and you get nothing. You could trade him away and get some prospects. Who knows? It really depends what team.
Exactly.
Probably the Lakers are going to be in real contention to get him.
Yeah. Definitely. I mean, they were in it with the Chris Paul stuff, and they could really use a solid point guard.
They could definitely use a point guard.
Yeah.
So basically you're looking at probably Gasol and some others. Or you just throw everything you have at Orlando and you get Dwight Howard.
That's
and
what
you
I
team
think has
Howard
to happen.
and Williams up for the next 5 to 6 years.
I think you got to do that. You got to just get him. Just anything.
Just
possible.
Make him want to come back.
Yeah, you need him back, because I mean, with him and Howard, obviously, that's exciting. Going to Brooklyn, you need that. So, I mean, I think they're close. They're close. I mean, back in when at one point Howard, it looked like was coming to the Nets for sure.
It did look like it in the summer.
And then out of nowhere, it just kind of fell apart. And that was kind of disappointing to see. But I mean, the Nets are trying, which I guess is good. But I don't know. I think they just got to make it happen at this point.
I think what really killed the deal was the tampering. I don't know if you heard about that, but
yeah, I heard it.
The Nets were tampering with Howard and whatnot.
Yeah.
I mean, it's basically he said, she said
pretty
type
much
of deal. But that's why I think that just kind of fell through. And
it was disappointing.
It was, because
I thought they had him. I mean,
because the Nets now moving to Brooklyn, they're officially a New York team.
Yes.
So New York just gained another team.
Another team.
I don't know. That would make 2 in every sport, basically.
Yeah.
Any major sport. And, to have another superstar in New York, because, I mean, the Knicks already have Melo, Chandler, and Stoudemire, so that would bring...
taking the world by storm.
Yeah, Lin coming out of nowhere. So that makes, Williams and Howard, that would be a pretty formidable, New York.
Big-time duo. Big time. I mean, they would have to give up the entire team to get them.
That's why I said just throw everything at Orlando. You would have to just start over, but you'd be starting over with 2 superstars.
A base of Howard and Williams.
You'd have a great pick and roll combo.
I'd love it.
Deron Williams can score. He can flat out score. He can dish the ball out.
Yeah.
And then you have Howard, who's just, I mean, I've never seen bigger shoulders on a man before.
He's gigantic.
He is the biggest. I'm actually intimidated by him, and he is 8 states away.
Oh yeah.
A couple thousand miles.
I mean, yeah, definitely. I mean, his shoulders are ginormous. He's just he looks like he just take you out. Like,
yeah, basically.
Just take you out. But yeah, I mean, I definitely like to see them, even if they did give up the whole team and just had them and even struggled. I'd rather see them struggle with those two than struggle with what they got now.
Yeah, and if they struggle with those two, that they'll be back next year. Because if you get Howard, Williams isn't going anywhere.
No, he's staying.
And I think, to prove their point, that he's either going to leave. At this point, I think he's going to leave or he's going to stay if they get someone else. And I don't know if they get someone else. That's the problem.
That's the big question, obviously. But, I think they got to get going on that, bottom line.
They either have to get going or they're going to lose out, and they're going to lose a lot because if you lose him and you get nothing.
You trade for him, you lose all those guys, Favors, guys like that, and then lose them again and just get nothing.
Right.
It would just be a mess.
Well, and it's not like, Deron Williams is looking for a big-time city like Melo. I mean, Melo really forced his way out.
Yeah, he forced
Williams
his way
was
out
happy in Utah.
He was fine.
He really didn't
fine.
care where he was. He just wanted to play. He wanted to be the best at what his position, and
ended up in New Jersey.
Came here, and I mean, he put up 38 last night, and that was pretty good. So
I mean, he's been playing very well lately, overall, not just last night, but yeah, he was last night. He was ridiculous.
I mean, personally, I think if the Nets don't get Howard, I think they both leave, both their respective teams, and
I think Howard's gone either way.
I think the biggest player at that point to get both of them on the same team would be the Mavericks. Mark Cuban has been made, really big splashes in the news about wanting to get both of them, and they have the cap room, they have the cap space.
Definitely. So I mean,
I can definitely see the Mavericks getting both of those guys with Nowitzki.
That'd be a solid squad over there.
Apparently he's a really great guy to play for. Yeah. And there's no income tax in Dallas, so
it's a plus.
You get to keep everything, and they're basically defending the championship this year. So
100%.
They'll be just a year out of winnings. So that's not bad for a duo like that. Let's just.
I mean, that's a solid duo. Bottom line. So we'll see what happens with that.
So the Knicks lose that last night.
They did at the Garden.
Yeah, at the Garden. They have 2 more home games at the Garden. And that was come Wednesday and Thursday, I believe.
I think
Wednesday's against the Hawks, and Thursday's against the Heat. So that should be an interesting game.
Yeah.
But for right now, they lose, and they now lose 2 out of the past 3 games.
And they're still 8-2 with Lynn since that first Nets game, but seem to be struggling a little bit lately.
Right.
But
you can't blame Carmelo for that loss. He came back and he did everything he could.
Yeah.
Lynn and him looked like they could play together. They definitely look good together.
Yeah, I didn't think he really slowed anything down or did anything to affect that whole situation.
Yeah, I just think that they really struggled from the loss of Shumpert because he's their
big D guy.
He's been a really good rookie. He is a rookie, so he's been a really good contributor to the team. He's hurt his left knee, and I don't know how much he'll be out, but
I haven't heard how serious that is.
He's been a real big defensive guy for them.
Definitely.
And they're not known for their defense. So what happens
not at all.
Not at all. What happens now to them? I don't know what happens. The Nets shot 39% from the floor. That's not great.
It's not great. No.
But if they, if that's not great and they come back and they still win,
still put up 100 points and beat the Knicks,
right?
Then.
But the outside difference was the shooting. They
They
put 39% from the paint. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
And Duran just drilled those threes all night long.
All day. It was great. And then he fouled out with like 3 minutes to go.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Tyson Chandler, he got caught up in some foul trouble.
He did
early, so that was a big difference because he's their big guy.
He's their big D guy down low.
And so he had to sit out in the fourth, from what I heard, because I fell asleep.
Yeah, he did. He was out for a while.
The Knicks just made the Nets, and I'm not picking on the Nets. They're 10-24. I'll put it that way.
That's a good team. Bottom line.
They made them look great. They made Chris Humphries, who is only known because he was on the Kardashian show. They made him look good, and I'm not taking away from him. He had a couple good games this year, but he had 14 points.
Yeah, I mean, he can grab a rebound, but he's not anything you should be worried about as an opposing team, Chris Humphries, and he did. Yeah, he did look pretty good last night.
He was worrisome. I think he had. I'm not sure how many rebounds he had. He had a lot though.
No, he was all over the place.
He had a lot. He
looked good last night. I don't know what the heck was going on.
To the radio this morning on the way here, they said some number on his rebounds, and I was just surprised.
Chris Humphries, he looked good last night, and you can't make Chris Humphries look good if you're the Knicks.
Right. So Landry Fields has 10 points. Amari has 17. Still not enough.
No.
Next up is the Hawks, then the Heat, and we'll see what goes from there.
Yeah, definitely.
Basically. But so the Knicks, they lost to the Hornets, 89-85.
Terrible loss.
Hornets come in with 6 wins, and they walk away with a win.
Which is ridiculous. How do you can't? I don't even know what to say to that.
When was the Hornets game? Was Friday, right? Last Friday.
Yeah.
So anyone who was blabbing their mouth saying we don't want Melo back.
Yeah.
It's not going to work with Lin. That was the game.
That was the game. That was the game. Where's Melo?
That was the game you need to look at because the Knicks just could not shoot. They needed that scorer, the go-to scorer guy, and they didn't have him that game. Right, and they only lost by 4.
Yeah.
If Carmelo was there, and
you shouldn't be losing to the Hornets either way.
No,
but obviously, if Melo was there, it would have been a different story. I think.
The Knicks were 4 of 24 from the 3-point line.
That's a problem.
You have to think, if you make 3 of those, you win the game.
You win the game.
Bottom line. And Melo would have made 3 of those.
Yeah, he's got.
At least.
Yeah, who knows?
So, anyone who's doubting the fact that Melo can't play, they now, now that he's back, this was last Friday.
Yeah.
I was just stunned by how many people still didn't want him back.
Yeah. I think Carmelo gets a little bit of a bad rap with everything. I really don't think he's that selfish of a player as everybody says he is.
No.
He's just, doing his thing.
Well, I don't think he's selfish. I just think he's confident.
He is confident, yeah.
He was interviewed that he wants to take the last shot. Of course he does.
Of course. If you're the best player in the team, you should want to take it. If he said anything else, I'd be disappointed.
It's a confidence in a player. He has hit 19 of his 31 attempts in the last 5 seconds of a game or in overtime.
Yeah.
To either take the lead or tie it.
Yeah.
That is the second best percentage to Rudy Gay. Rudy Gay has hit.
Really?
Yeah. Rudy Gay has hit 11 of 22.
Wow.
So he's at less attempts. So Carmelo kind of, he's up there.
Carmelo, yeah. He definitely gets a bad rap with that. He's the best player on the team. Right. He needs the ball.
I just can't call him selfish.
No.
He has a different style. It's
yeah.
I'm not sure what to call it. It's just a consistent. He plays on an individualistic kind of style.
He does. He likes to get the ball and do a little ISO action.
Right, and it's not. It's just his playing style. It's not him being selfish and just wanting the ball.
It's how he feels comfortable scoring.
He's an isolation type of player.
Yeah, he's yeah.
And for anyone who called him selfish, which I don't know if you are, but I'm not. I just came back with if Tom Brady or Eli Manning in the Super Bowl, they were both asked the question, do you want the ball? Do you want to be down by 4 points with the ball or up by 4 points without the ball? They both wanted the ball.
They both want to exactly.
And no one called them selfish for that.
No, everybody's like, oh, it's great. That's what you want out of your quarterback.
Right.
What's it? Yeah.
So that's basically Melo saying, I want to be down by 2 with the ball at the 3-point line.
Exactly.
So I don't call him selfish, and I don't call anyone selfish who if they can do it,
which Carmelo
Eli proved it, Carmelo proved it. Carmelo is 19 of 31, like I said, and
Carmelo's one of the prime scorers in the NBA. Is what it comes down to.
He's a top 10 NBA player.
Yeah,
and they have him on the team. So I'm gonna dish him the ball.
Utilize that talent
with 10 seconds left in the game.
Yeah,
basically, and they really missed him last Friday against the Hornets.
Big time. But we'll see what he can do now that he's. Last night he wasn't bad or anything, but just getting his feet wet again. I think.
Right.
So.
Yeah. it's been like 2 weeks.
Yeah. So.
And we'll especially with a groin injury, it's you want to kind of keep that. You're gonna, just
gonna loosen that up a little bit.
So.
Get that going. So we'll follow that story and see where.
See how that goes. Especially with everyone coming back at full force, and we'll see where Shumpert is at the.
Yeah, and the Heat game will definitely be interesting.
Yeah, I'm kind of upset we're not going to be here reporting on it the next day, but we'll be here next Monday.
We'll get it. Yeah, we'll get it eventually.
But then the Knicks go on to win, 104-97 to the Mavericks.
Yeah, they did.
And that was that was the real test for all the doubters out there, for all the haters who wanted to say Jeremy Lin.
And they were trailing for a while.
Yeah, they were.
Big. I mean, not big, but decently.
Not enough to say that Jeremy Lin is for real.
Yeah.
Because Lin really carried that team.
He did. 14 assists, 28 points.
Right. And for anyone who said, no, Lin is not good, this was the game. This was the difference maker.
I think Lin has clearly proved himself at this point. Like there's
undoubtedly.
Yeah. I don't think it's a fluke anymore. I don't think anybody can say blah, blah, blah.
After that game, he just completely entered rare territory.
Yeah.
A rare and dangerous territory. He had 28 points that game. He has now scored 200 points in his first 8 career starts. There's only 4 people that have more than 200 points in their first 8 career starts.
Yeah.
You know who those people are?
I mean, they're probably ridiculous Hall of Fame type people.
I'll name them off. I have them somewhere on there. I have Bernard King, Brandon Jennings, Shaquille O'Neal, and Michael Jordan. That's it.
Jennings. Huh?
And then Lin.
And
Lin.
Gotta love him.
So
Lin.
He's been a huge difference maker.
Huge. Yeah, that's it. It's like he just fell out of the sky and gave them what they needed. It's pretty much what it comes down to.
They won the lottery. Let's just put it that way.
They did.
D'Antoni went and got a lottery ticket.
He saved.
Lin showed up at the door.
Yeah, I mean, he may or may not have saved D'Antoni's Knick career.
Oh, absolutely.
So
he saved D'Antoni's career. He saved the Knicks season.
100%.
And he went on the radio and said that D'Antoni saved his career too. So you could look at it at that point.
Oh yeah, definitely both ways. I mean, D'Antoni had to give him a shot, obviously.
Yeah, I feel like if he hadn't gotten that shot because they had to cut him the next day or next couple days, so they didn't pay him anything.
Yeah.
He probably would have. That would have been it. You know, because we talked last week about at what point do you just quit?
Yeah.
When you're cut from that many teams, when you're not looked at,
and you have a Harvard degree in economics. Like
you have a degree in economics. At what point do you change careers?
Yeah.
And I think that was going to be the turning point for him.
That was it right there.
So he could have went on and did anything else, but he
stuck with it.
He chose to stick with it, and
yep. Gotta give him credit for that.
Absolutely helping them because their field goal percentage when he's on the court is about 50.
Great.
They're making about 50%.
Yeah.
And they're making about 40% when he's not there. So he's definitely the difference maker.
Gotta love it.
The team.
Gotta love it.
They're definitely a better team, and he just makes everyone else better because Nick Novak is a scoring machine, and he proved that Sunday night against the Dallas.
Yeah, he did. When
shooting those threes. Did you watch that game by any chance?
I caught a little bit of it. Yeah.
Did you see the third quarter at all?
Third quarter. I don't know. I don't think so. I think I just caught
Novak wasn't the only one with range.
Yeah.
On Sunday. You didn't see the fan scored the half-court shot?
No, I didn't.
There was a fan who scored a half-court shot.
Really?
Yep, to win a 2012 Kia Optima.
Good for him.
He had to hit, I believe, 5 free throw shots just to get the half-court, and he got the half-court.
Good for him. Jesus.
So a fan goes home with a nice new car, and
that's a good good experience at the game.
It is a great experience. Novak isn't the only one with any range. So
downtown from the fan. Good for him. Good for him.
All right, so let's
switch gears a little bit.
We'll switch gears, and what do you want to do?
I mean, what do we got?
Let's do something real quick. We got Burnett was traded the other day.
Finally,
to the Pirates.
Gone.
It's a fresh new start for him, basically.
Yeah, I mean, did you hear what he said yesterday about how everybody tinkered with him?
I did. I did hear that.
Too many people bothered me. Like what?
Yeah.
Come on, AJ.
You come to New York, and you don't expect anyone to talk to you.
Who are you right now?
Or try to change. I mean,
it's not like he came in here as a Cy Young winning pitcher.
Right. Obviously, every pitching coach is different from the other, and when you are, let's just put it at he was 500.
Yeah.
Basically through his career.
Yeah.
With a 4-something ERA. Yeah, you're going to get tinkered with.
Exactly. I don't care how electric your stuff is. You got to do something right,
You cannot have a career ERA of 4-something.
Yeah.
And you can't have an ERA of 5.15 last year and not get tinkered with. Of course someone's going to tinker you.
Exactly. Like, come on now.
Are you serious?
This guy, he's gone. Finally,
he's
no
gone.
more headache for the Yankees.
They pay 23, I believe, of his remaining contracts.
23, yeah.
They get $5 million this year, $8 million next year. From the Pirates.
And get two prospects, not even prospects, minor leaguers.
Minor leaguers, about B grade prospects. Let's just put it that way.
Both projects. They're both, like, I think,
they're
19.
projects. There's something that could be great.
We'll see how they develop.
It's whatever. I think the main thing was get Burnett out.
Pretty much, I just wanted to get Burnett out of there.
They didn't want, because you can't, if you're paying him that much money, you can't just demote him to the minors. You need to get him out.
Exactly. And with the whole, I mean, he'd be competing for the 5th spot with Hughes and Garcia. And I listened to Cashman yesterday on Francesa, and he said that he likes Hughes a lot this year. So
we'll see where that goes. We'll cover him.
Exactly.
So we got big guy Sabathia, Kuroda,
Nova, and Pineda.
So then Hughes and Garcia, we'll see what happens with that.
Yeah, I like Hughes there. I know you like him in the bullpen.
I like him in the bullpen only because he hasn't proven to me that he can be the starter.
Yeah,
I
mean,
like him as a starter
when he was 18-8. In the first half, he was awesome. In the second half,
he
fell apart.
But he got hurt.
Yeah,
he comes back. His velocity wasn't the same.
Mm-hmm.
And I just feel like if you're gonna go out there for that long of a period and that many innings, like for an entire season, and your velocity isn't up already, you got to stay in the bullpen. But I like him. I want him to prove to me that he can be a starter. Because he absolutely can, and he has the stuff to do it.
He does.
It's just as of right now, if I was going to put him anywhere, it'd be in the bullpen.
Yeah,
based on his numbers.
Exactly, because he has been good every single time he's been in the bullpen.
Exactly, and especially because we have no idea what we're going to expect from Jabba at all.
Yeah, who the heck knows with him?
He's a lost cause at this point for me.
And we obviously got Robertson and Soriano and Rivera, but you like to see another guy back there.
And I really enjoyed Noesi. Right?
Yeah, he was solid.
He was really good, but obviously they had to give him up.
Yep.
I'm going to assume that the big B's will be up at some point.
Killer Bees. I definitely think Benuelos will be up at some point. He's definitely the better. Betances was up last year. Couldn't throw a strike to save his life. But I think they got to really just get him under control. He's got the power arm, but he's got no mechanics.
Both have potential to be great, probably 2 or 3 starters.
Yeah.
Not number 1s, I don't think.
No, I don't think.
Very good solid number 2s or 3s.
Yeah.
And they're probably going to come up and be in the bullpen at some point this year. And that's only going to make their bullpen better. And they already had a really good bullpen before Chamberlain went down. And Chamberlain was actually having a really good year
last year until he went down.
So they get rid of Burnett. He goes off to have a fresh start, he says.
Fresh start in Pittsburgh.
He'll be their veteran. He'll definitely be their number 1 guy for sure. They've already said that.
Yeah.
The scouts in Pittsburgh say they see something in him.
How do you feel about that, Pittsburgh? AJ Burnett's your number 1 pitcher.
I don't know. I'm thinking I'm already giving up on the season.
Yeah.
Well, you just never know. I know some people, New York is just too big for some people.
It is.
Some people just can't perform in New York. And obviously the AL East is a very tough division. And you go, to the NL Central. It's not that difficult there. So
we'll see.
We'll see throughout the year what happens with that.
Yeah. I mean, good luck to him.
Yeah.
Whatever.
So with that $5 million the Yanks get back, they go and they sign Raul Ibanez. How do you feel about that?
I don't know. I mean, there wasn't too much in terms of lefty bats. I know they were looking at Damon, but they didn't like Damon because he can't play the field anymore. And Ibanez played, I think 134 games and left last year. And he's not like a great defender or anything, but you can't stick him out there and he's not really going to kill you.
Right.
And I mean, he's obviously gone down the last few years big time, dramatically in terms of number-wise. And at times last year he looked like he had no idea what he was doing at the plate. But he still did hit 20 homers, 31 doubles. So he's got something left in the tank. And obviously the short porch for a lefty is, very nice.
Well, so they give him $1 million contract.
With a lot of incentives.
And incentives to make $4 million throughout the year. You're right. There wasn't a lot of left-handed bats out there. And they said they looked at him, outfield. Damon, and one other guy.
I forget
who too. Yeah, but clearly the other guy wasn't important because it wasn't even mentioned.
No, it wasn't even.
Ibanez is basically the one that can play in the field.
Yeah.
And they're really looking for someone to do that just to rest guys. He'll mainly bat against righties.
Definitely, he
can't hit a lefty for his life.
Not at all. Not at all.
He's been a productive player over the past 10 years.
He's a good veteran player.
Right.
Solid.
hopefully he can do something. Ibanez hit 256, 16 homers, and 60 RBIs against righties last year.
Yeah.
So just, put him in against righties. Lefties will be, the DH spot will be open for A-Rod, for Jeter, for all the older guys who need rest.
Yeah.
And every so often you'll put Ibanez in the outfield, and Gardner's the only one in left. And to be honest, I don't want anyone replacing Gardner, because he had the best fielding percentage.
In baseball last year.
He is the best defender, and by far. So,
you don't want to see him leave, but every once in a while, I give him a little break.
People need breaks. So
yeah.
So they replace basically Burnett with Ibanez, and you can even say they replace Posada with Ibanez.
Posada, exactly.
Posada was at DH.
Yeah, so you can go, and then they have Andrew Jones at DH against lefties too.
Right. Yeah. So that's not terrible. That's
no. And then
for DHs, that's not bad.
Yeah.
I'll put it that way.
Yeah, and then they're looking at Chavez now too. So
right. Yeah, they really want to bring him back. He's been.
I like Chavez last year. He was great with guys in scoring position last year.
Not only that, he's just a really good defender. You can throw in anywhere at any point in time.
Yeah.
And he'll just perform.
Yeah.
Because he
just
wants
Chavez.
the opportunity.
I hope they get him back, which I think they will sometime, maybe today even.
Well, I hope so.
Yeah.
Because they definitely need a backup infielder.
So we'll see how that goes.
All right, we're just gonna switch gears here to MLB. We're just gonna
go right to that.
Just go right to it. We'll do football next time. We're about 25
minutes. God.
We need a 2-hour show next time.
We need something. We need.
We talked about the NBA for 20 minutes, and that is our least favorite sport between us both.
And somehow we talked about it for 20 minutes still.
Right,
Gotta love it.
We know our stuff. So
we do. So who do we want to go with first there?
Well, I have the Diamondbacks.
Diamondbacks,
in my
me too.
So let's go with them.
Let's go with the Diamondbacks.
So
first place NL West last year.
They basically come out of nowhere. Because I was fully expecting the Giants to back-to-back, not champions, but back-to-back NL West winners. But clearly the loss of Posey was big, and we'll discuss that.
When we get to their team, we'll get that. Yeah.
But yes, I was picking the Giants to win the division again.
I think everybody was.
And
who the heck saw the Diamondbacks?
After seeing the Diamondbacks, I don't know. I could be picking them again to win the NL West.
I'm 100% picking them
because their lineup looks good. Their pitching got drastically better this year with the addition of Trevor Cahill. So
you gotta and then you have Paul Goldschmidt at first for a full season.
He is such a power hitter.
He's just a straight up masher. He could just hit home runs like.
He is awesome, and the last name Goldschmidt is interesting.
I like that.
I believe he is Jewish, so we'll see.
Yeah,
Jewish with some power, but
yeah. A little Hank Greenberg there.
I was a little disappointed they got rid of Colin Cowgill, but obviously they had to give him up for the Cahill trade. I think he would have been a really good, solid outfielder.
Definitely. But then they went out and added Jason Kubel.
Right.
From the Twins.
He's been productive.
Yeah, he was injured last year. He only played 99 games, but he's had some productive years over in Minnesota. I know the year before, or 08, he had a huge year. And then, but he was
awesome.
He had a monster year.
Either 08 or somewhere around there. He was awesome.
Around there, yeah. But he's definitely a solid hitter. He's not going to kill your fielding. His our field last year was 4, so it was better than, above average. So, but he'll definitely give you some pop. And then you got Gerardo Parra, who's very good defensively to back up everybody pretty much, but especially in left. So you gotta like that. And then what I really like is Justin Upton this year. I think he is gonna have a huge year.
Every year, I think he's gonna have a huge year. And every year he disappoints, but hopefully it's this year.
He's 24. He's gonna be in his 5th full season, and he's 24.
Right.
He finished 4th in MVP last year. He's got all the tools. He's 39 doubles, 31 homers, 21 steals last year. I think this might be his time. I just have a good feeling about it. But we'll see with that.
Yeah. Well, they have Stephen Drew coming back from injury,
which is huge. He had a good year in 2010.
And I believe, did they add Aaron Hill? This past
offseason.
He had a really good year a couple years ago, and I hope he can return back to form.
It looked like he did. Towards when they got him last year, he played in 33 games with Arizona and hit .315 with an .878 OPS. So
you know what? In Toronto, he had just the bad luck. Let's put it that way, because he was hitting balls and they were just getting caught, basically.
Yeah.
and they're just players in the right position in the outfield, but he can definitely hit the ball.
Oh, he can hit. He
got a bit of bad luck, and obviously he had a couple bad seasons since his breakout year. I forgot
that
who
monster
it was.
year.
It was 08 or 09 again.
It was that year that they all broke out.
They just had a terrific year.
Batista, Lind, and Hill. They pretty much led the league in homers, I think, that year.
So they're hoping he can get back to that, and
that'd be huge.
Change of divisions just might be what he needs.
Exactly, a little change of scenery.
So obviously Stephen Drew comes back. He goes right back to shortstop.
Yeah.
And I'm putting Aaron Hill in as the number 2 guy, personally, as second base, number 2 in the batting order.
All right, yeah. Just
because I think he still has stuff left.
No, I definitely agree with that.
And then right there goes Upton at number 3.
He's awesome. Goldschmidt, clean up. Yeah.
Goldschmidt or Montero, because I think Miguel Montero's a good guy. He can definitely hit. He can definitely get on base.
He's a solid hitter. Yeah, I like that.
The only reason I don't put Goldschmidt up too high is just because last year was his first year up in the majors.
48 games.
He didn't really get his foot in the door.
No, I could agree.
And he strikes out a lot. And he doesn't have a great average, and he's just a power hitter.
He's just straight up masher, like I said. He doesn't really get on base a lot. He's just gonna go up there and
he's gonna hit about 39 home runs.
I could see him.
I'll give him 35 to 40. And
I'm gonna say around 30. I'll give him like 30, 30 on the dot.
What is definitely going to carry this team is the pitching.
The pitching. I mean, when you have Ian Kennedy, who can't finish 4th in the Cy Young this year, and
personally, I thought he won it. Personally, I was giving him my vote.
Kershaw was ridiculous.
I know Kershaw was ridiculous. It's just the reason the Diamondbacks were there was because of Kennedy.
I can agree with that.
And Kershaw, they didn't do anything last year. And obviously, I'm giving Kershaw the Cy Young because they're so bad.
Yeah.
And he still performed amazingly. But
I'm pretty sure he won the pitching Triple Crown.
He did.
So, for me, when you do that, you're a Cy Young winner. So, obviously, I'm not saying Kennedy. Kennedy was ridiculous last year.
He was, and it's disappointing the Yankees traded him.
Yeah, a little disappointing. but then you got to look at it. They got Granderson out of that.
Right, and Granderson had a great monster year.
That was one of the great trades for everybody, just on a side note.
Right.
Everybody won on that
Every single team that got a player in that deal won.
So
the Tigers got Austin Jackson, Diamondbacks get Kennedy,
Yankees get Granderson. So everybody wins. But, Kennedy was ridiculous last year. Daniel Hudson was, very good as well. He's only 24. Cahill's only 23. So they got 3, solid young pitchers on the team.
Right.
Who are going to be around for a while and could definitely contribute this year.
Cahill finished 12-14 last year.
Yeah, after a good year.
4-16. Clearly he had a better year the year before, but those numbers are a little misleading because for the first 5 months he had a 3.6 ERA.
Yeah.
The A's are just terrible.
The A's stink.
Basically, the only thing good for the A's last year was the fact that Moneyball came out, and I think that's why the attendance went down because all the A's fans went and saw Moneyball instead of the games because they're reminiscing over their past joys.
Exactly.
But so he comes into a much better situation, a much better pitching situation. They have a great bullpen.
They do have a very solid bullpen.
And I just think the batting it's going to be a lot better than the A's, and. Basically, they have a lot of people back from last year. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah.
It's a team that, stuck together, and they can only benefit from that, and they can only go up.
I can see all 3 of those. The top 3 guys winning 15 games plus.
Kennedy, Hudson, and
I can see all that winning 15 games.
And you throw in there Callmentor.
Yeah, Josh Callmentor is another young guy who's pretty good.
He was really good last year.
Finished 5th in the Rookie of the Year, so.
He was really good. I know I had him on my fantasy team for a little.
Did you?
Yeah.
Nice.
And I don't know who else. Oh, Saunders.
Joe Saunders.
Probably a number 4 or 5. Probably a 4. And
I say him at 4.
5.
Yeah, Callmentor 5. But he's a solid guy.
But he gives you solid numbers. Let's put it that way. He'll give you 6 innings of solid baseball.
He's a solid pitcher.
He was really great a couple years ago.
With the Angels. He had a big year.
And that's why he's now with the Diamondbacks. I think they traded him. In the Dan Herron trade, they got.
Yeah, they did.
They got Saunders back, but.
Yeah. So, that's a solid rotation. You put J.J. Putz in there, who was very, very good last year, and David Hernandez, who they got from the Orioles. Poor Orioles trade now, all their good players.
Mm-hmm.
But Ziegler they got last year from Oakland. Breslow they got in the trade from Cahill. I mean, they got a good bullpen.
Yep, absolutely. Craig Breslow. Basically, they were the key acquisitions. Was Cahill, Breslow, Kubel.
Yeah.
A couple more, but
yeah, I mean,
the key acquisitions were those.
Cahill,
the people who will be in the starting lineup come opening day will be those guys.
Yeah.
They didn't really lose a lot. They lost Ryan Cook, Cowgill, Zach Duke.
Nothing that's gonna really do anything to you.
Not much. Obviously, the only one I was upset about is Cowgill, just because.
Yeah.
I hate when players go somewhere where they're just not going to have a productive year, and just the A's are just so.
The A's, no.
The A's will finish last, and
I had them third.
Third, really?
The Mariners stink.
I don't know. I think they're gonna.
The Mariners. They have too many questions. They have six guys, I think. 6 guys who played under 100 games that are probably going to be in their starting lineup. So
they're just a young team. They're definitely
exactly.
a transitioning team right now. I just think the A's are just terrible. And I think they're going to finish in the bottom 5 at least.
I don't think either one of them are going to be good. I'm
putting them at literally the worst 5 teams in the league, and the A's will be in one of them. It will be one of them. I'm putting it that.
I mean, I can agree with that. I still think they're better.
Breaking news yesterday was that Manny Ramirez is back.
Manny's back.
And serving a 50-game suspension.
That's not really a Billy Beane type move. Like, what is he doing right now?
Well, he was... All right, we'll switch gears to the Manny real quick.
Yeah.
He decided he wants to come back. He was on the Rays last year, and he got caught for steroids again, or performance-enhancing drugs,
whatever.
We'll call them.
He's nuts.
So he was supposed to serve a 100-game suspension because that was his second time, but instead he retired. And he said he wants to come back because he has 2 kids who are 11 and 7. He doesn't want to set a bad example, saying that if you get caught for something, just quit. So he's coming back. So I understand from parents' perspective, maybe also he doesn't have enough money.
That's probably more the reason.
So they gave him a $500,000 contract if he makes the team.
If he makes the team.
Basically,
I think he's going to make the team. Who the heck has he got to beat out over in Oakland?
The only outfielder they have is Cepedez. And
they got him, yeah.
But so Ramirez can do something for them, but he comes back, and I feel like I smell like skunk still, but that's the only thing I smell. Anyway, he comes back, and he needs to make the team, first of all. But what I just don't understand is, why is he serving a 50-game suspension? Why is he not serving a 100-game suspension?
I don't know.
I heard from a league source said that they decided to reduce it to 50 because he retired and sat out last year.
So what the heck? So you could just...
He voluntarily retired last year. Yeah. That doesn't mean he sat out 100 games.
I don't know what these
He
guys...
decided to quit on the team. So I'm not buying it.
No.
I think he should serve 100 games.
Me too. I mean, it's whatever. It
is what it is. They still will not be anywhere. So,
but yeah.
So where are you picking the Diamondbacks for?
First
place. I'm going with you on first place. I think Kennedy's a future Cy Young candidate, or even winner.
Yeah.
I'm with you on Hudson and Cahill. 15+ wins, probably a good solid 3 ERA.
Yeah.
And that's also just an easy division. I'm gonna put it out there. The Giants are basically it.
And the Giants, we'll get to them now. They stink at hitting.
Yeah, they're awful.
They can't hit.
We'll get to that, and we'll finish it up tomorrow and Monday with the rest of this division. But I really do think Diamondbacks are. They're just in the best position.
They're fine. And then coming up, they're the 6th best farm system. They got 3 pitchers in Keith Law's top 25, so they're gonna keep coming. It's just ridiculous. Really good. It's ridiculous. But Giants.
So Giants, basically the season just gets broken. We'll put it that way, or just gets torn away when Posey goes down.
Posey goes down, you're done.
Posey goes down, which I was so upset for him because I love him as a player.
I think he's great, yeah.
And they're thinking of moving him from catcher. I just think he's a catcher no matter what.
Yeah, but they move too many guys from catcher. I mean, like, I know that they want him in the lineup for everybody. For their bat and to lengthen their career or whatever, but some guys just leave it catcher. Like
just put them there. It's their spot.
That's where they play.
It was terrible. It was a pretty bad incident. He was blocking home plate and someone hit him. I forgot who it was. Slid into him. I don't think they should have this in baseball. It's just the whole running into the catcher.
I mean, I like it. I don't know. It's whatever, though. It's whatever.
The only reason I don't like it is because of obviously
the
injury. And that really changed the season. It changes someone's career, too.
It does.
Well, what if he doesn't come back from that? It's just he was such a young. I mean, last year was his sophomore year, so
yeah,
he still has coming off the rookie of the years in front of him. But I mean, that could definitely be a changer.
We'll definitely say. But I mean, their offense is just terrible.
It was, and you can't blame Buster Posey completely, but
yeah,
they went 25 and 29 in the last 2 months. Freddie Sanchez, Pablo Sandoval, and Carlos Beltran all were injured.
Huff was terrible.
They tried to add a bat with Beltran and traded away one of their best pitching prospects, who I really like.
Zach Wheeler, he's actually on my fantasy team.
Really?
A minor league team, yeah.
Well, you have a minor league fantasy team.
Yeah, I do. I have, because I do a league with keepers and everything. It's legit, like I'm sure you do. We have 5 guys on minor league team.
Oh, interesting.
So he's on my minor league team.
What do you use, ESPN or Yahoo for that?
Yahoo?
Yeah. I'll have to look into that then.
Yeah. It's pretty
That's
sweet.
Cool. A farm system for fantasy
farm
baseball.
System, exactly. Got to build up the system.
Because I always draft, play like last year I didn't draft them, but I had players like, God, I don't know who had a good year, but
Lowry and.
Yeah, okay, all right. Brett Lowry. Yeah. I had him on my team, and then he gets hurt. Yeah. He's in the minors, and I'm just keeping him there because I know he's going to be awesome.
Yeah.
You could put him on your farm system, basically, instead of wasting a roster spot.
What we have is if you call him up, you can't send him back down, which stinks. But, if you keep him, you can keep him as long as you want on your minor league team until they get to, the minimum requirements, and then you have to call him up or whatever. But it's pretty sweet.
That's awesome.
It's pretty sweet.
Yeah, because I just... In ESPN, you have to flag players and watch them, and obviously that's not terrible, but anyone can pick them up.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean,
we kind of have we don't really technically do the farm system on Yahoo. We just kind of have it to the side.
Okay.
So and then we just kind of call them off. So
all right,
sneaky. But back to the Giants.
So the pair of the injuries, the magic years from Aubrey Huff and Torres in 2010 didn't carry over.
Aubrey Huff's usually a solid player, solid hitter, and he just fell off the face of the earth last year. He was terrible.
He was. In 2010, he was great. 2011, awful. I didn't even... they replaced him.
Terrible. He was
they tried to do everything they could, but...
the
only thing good on this team is the pitching.
Sandoval had a good year last year, which was good to see. Bounce back, but besides that, the pitching. That's it.
Lincecum, Kane, Bumgarner, Vogelsong was his.
He had a miracle year last
year.
He
had a great year. They all collectively finished with a 2.79 ERA.
Yeah.
And a 51-45 record. It's not terrible. Obviously, the losses can. But you can't blame the losses on the pitcher.
No, you look at Lincecum, he's 13-14 with a 2.74 ERA.
Right.
How does that happen?
Because the people
obviously,
can't hit.
because they can't hit.
Because they can't hit, and when you take Lincecum out, in the 7th inning, and it's a 1-0 game or a nothing game, and the players just they can't win it for the team. No, and if the bullpen gives up a run,
they could be so good if they just had a couple hitters in there to do something.
And I'm really, really looking forward to seeing Brandon Belt.
Me too.
He's definitely going to be the savior for the team this year, I think.
They're hoping that he's going to be the savior.
I just don't know what you do at that point because Brandon Belt is a first baseman, and Sandoval is just he's too big to play third base.
He's a big dude. I mean, he did lose a lot. He was actually pretty good at third last year, but I think you can live with him there for a while.
I just think he's Prince Fielder 2.0.
He did lose a lot of weight though.
Did he?
Yeah. He did. He was 2 years ago. That's what his problem was. And he cut a lot of weight and kind of shut everybody up. But I mean, I know what you're saying with that. He's definitely. I don't really.
Even with the weight, he's still a big guy.
I think they can live with him over there for a while.
If he's performing, live with him. If he's not, then it becomes a problem. Especially since you're in the NL, you don't have a DH spot.
He was actually really, really good at fielding. Our field last year was 14. So I don't know how the heck he pulled that one off, but he was pretty good last year. But I mean. In terms of offense, I mean, they have Posey coming back, which is a question mark, and Sandoval and then Who else you got? I mean, you got Melky, but Melky's not going to come anywhere near what he did last year.
No, he had a great year in Kansas City, and they clearly knew that hitting was a problem. So they go and get Melky and Pagone. Pagone, he's pretty. He can hit upwards. He's in 290s.
He's all right.
He's all right. I'm not saying he's great. I'm not saying he's going to save the team.
No,
but he's definitely an upgrade from what you got.
I guess, yeah, which is kind of sad.
Especially since Beltran left and they just got nothing.
No, they didn't.
Basically, that was the worst deal of last year. Probably the past 5 years I've seen.
Yeah, definitely. Just
they bring him in and he does terrible.
And they don't make the playoffs.
They don't make the playoffs, and then he leaves. And you lose Wheeler, basically your best pitching prospect. Who I think is going to be a great pitcher and probably in the top 5 of pitching prospects coming up.
He's pretty good, yeah.
I mean, obviously Matt Moore is number 1, but
yeah, I mean, I wouldn't put him in my top 5, but you got him, you got Shelby Miller, you got Garrett Cole, you got, I don't know, off the top of my head I can't think, but Trevor Bauer. I don't know. I think he's definitely. I'd put him in my top 10, top 15. 10.
The only reason I put him up there is just because I feel like the players who were drafted last year still need time.
Yeah.
Obviously, there are players who are better than him.
Yes.
But as for players who are going to make the majors in this year, I'll put him in my top 5 for people coming. Because yes, Trevor Bauer. I'm looking forward to seeing Trevor Bauer in the majors.
Yeah, me too.
Actually, I'm looking forward to him more than Garrett Cole.
Yeah.
Personally,
Yanks drafted Garrett Cole a while ago.
Yeah, but
who
he stayed in college, so. So they get Cabrera, they get Pagone.
That's not really a big
They get
upgrade.
Terrio, actually. Terrio is a really good defensive, everyday type of player, so he'll do something for them.
But again, when you score 3.52 runs a game, which is last, and you upgrade your offense by getting Melky and Pagone, it's not really doing too much for your offense.
Yeah. They clearly needed someone. That someone could have been Fielder. It could have been anyone. And they just didn't do it. They upgraded their roster with, like you said, Cabrera, Pagone, and Terrio, and that's clearly not going to cut it. And I just see another year, probably 2 or 3, just because their division is so bad that they could probably finish number 2 just because of their pitching.
I think too, but even, they have Lincecum, Kane, and Bumgarner, who are awesome. And Bumgarner's only 22, and he's already had, a solid year under his belt. But I think Vogelsong is not going to come anywhere near what he did last year.
And then you have Zito.
Who is very Zito.
He's either, lights out or just awful. And he only has a lights out game once every year. So
once a year, he's got a good start.
Once a year. He did, though, last year. He had one game where he was lights out.
Yeah. And that was it.
So I don't know where you put him in that team.
Right now, he's looking like a 5-starter.
Looking at the 5, basically.
It's not really a good 5-starter.
No, it's not. They did lose a lot, and they didn't really get a lot.
No, their bullpen's still insane, I think, with Romo, Brian Wilson, Affelt.
Wilson is
Wilson, he walked a lot of guys last year.
He had a really bad year compared to the year before.
Compared to the year before, he was terrible last year compared to the year before. But, I still like him back there. He did walk 5.1 per 9, which was, I think, double what he did.
For a bullpen pitcher, that's awful.
The whole bullpen, they did walk a lot of guys in general. You have, I think, let me see, like 4 guys who walked 3.5 or higher out of the bullpen per 9, which is, you want to see him throw strikes out of the bullpen.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so obviously he has room to improve because he had a great year, then a bad year. It was just a lot of things went wrong for the Giants last year. Let's just put it that way. They did lose a lot more than they gained. They lost Beltran. Obviously, they lost Torres, Pat Burrell.
Yeah.
They lost Jonathan Sanchez, who's a real big loss for them because he would have been their 4 or 5 starter.
And that's, when
and
you have a
for
team,
a 4 or 5 guy who's Sanchez, he's not bad.
Exactly. And, you got back Melky, but that's not like a huge – I'd rather have 4 solid starters than get rid of 1
for Melky.
From Melky.
Right.
Yeah.
They did lose Mark DeRosa, Miguel Tejada, Jeff Keppinger, Cody Ross. They just lost a lot of people.
They lost guys and didn't really replace them with too much. So
and those guys aren't fantastically amazing. And you want to keep them around, but still there's something. And you need to replace them, and you're just not going to cut it replacing them with the same people you have.
Yeah, and they got no help on the way in terms of farm system.
The only help is Brandon Belt.
Brandon Belt's there.
And they also traded away their only other help on the pitching side, Wheeler, so they got a lot of work to do.
Yeah, I mean, they got one guy, Gary Brown, who's a center fielder, but he's not really too close to coming up. I mean, their farm system is ranked 26th, so they're not looking too good there. I don't know. They're
basically, they're just looking forward to getting Posey back. They're looking forward to get Sanchez back, Freddie Sanchez.
Yeah, who's a solid hitter. I mean, he's not going to hit for any type of power, but he's a good hitter.
He is just an average guy. And that's basically what their big acquisitions are.
Nice.
Yeah, looking for your own players to come back.
Yeah, I mean, when you're the division winner gets better and you don't do anything, I mean, I don't think there's any way you overcome the Diamondbacks in that situation.
Right. So you have your big four pitchers coming back. You have Zito. Not very, dominating number 5, but the big four, they had a very dominating year.
Yeah,
obviously,
those 4 guys.
It's not their fault that they had some losses, like you said. Lincecum had a great ERA, but
they all did. They all. I mean, Kane's ERA was, where is it? 2.88. Yeah, he had 2 guys with ERAs under 3, and they had 13 wins and 12 wins.
Right.
That's ridiculous.
So and they just re-upped Lincecum for a new deal, so he's clearly there. They're hoping that Kane stays, but personally, I don't think he does, just because the team is such disarray right now, and the fact that he thinks he's a number 1. I could see him as a number 1 somewhere. I could see him. Truly, I can. I think he's not going to get the same money as Lincecum, and if he doesn't, he's out. Yeah, he's out. Because if you have a great year like that, like you just said, 288 is a fantastic year.
And he's so consistent. He does it every single year.
Right. So he's clearly going to want number 1 money. And if he doesn't make money like Tim Lincecum, then he's not going to stick around, personally. That's what I think.
And then the team just collapses, in my opinion.
So right now, I think they're if they don't do well this year, it's not going to.
No. They don't have too much going for them.
No. And they won't, because no one's going to want to go there.
No.
I mean, if you get rid of Kane, you have the salary cap.
Mm-hmm.
You have the room to do it, but next year it's not a really big hitting free agent market. Next year it's more pitching. I took a look.
I did see. I did see that.
It was like Cole Hamels.
There's some big guys.
Just this year was Pujols and Fielder. Next year,
Frankie, I think.
Next year is huge starting pitching free agency. So we'll have to keep an eye on that.
Yes, we will.
But the biggest thing I would have thought was had to go and get a batter, and they didn't.
They didn't. So
I really thought they would bring in someone like Fielder.
Yeah.
I could have saw him going there. I mean, with his power, he would have been hitting balls into the water every single day.
Oh,
that field is pretty.
I mean, for that, when we saw Bonds do it, but they did not. I'm a little concerned with them, to be honest. I mean, I think they could still come second just because I really don't see. I mean, obviously we'll preview it, but as of off the top of my head, unless the Dodgers pull a miracle out of somewhere, then
unless they become a better team than they were last year, and I can see it.
I can see it. They got a couple guys. I mean, obviously Kemp who should have won the MVP in my opinion, and obviously Kershaw. But right now I think the Giants are still a little bit better than them just to finish in second, but they're definitely on the decline.
Yep,
I
think so too. So they either should have got Fielder or probably Reyes, just someone to put in there. I don't like Reyes as a player. We'll get to that when we get to our Marlins.
The Marlins.
But they needed to get someone, and they didn't. So best case scenario, they finish second. Worst case, I don't see them finishing 4th or 5th, but second or 3rd. And best case scenario, they finish second, and they probably make some, trade in the season and
hopefully
look to get better.
They gotta do something.
Worst case, like you said, they fall off the map, and for a couple of years, they're
gonna struggle.
Hit rock bottom. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm not sure what their farm system is, what it looks like, but not much.
Yeah. So
all right, so it's 8:00.
8:00.
We brought you right to 8:00.
We did. No class at 8:00 today, so
we get to stay with you. But next time we got Dodgers.
Who do we got? Yeah, Dodgers and who else did we put on there?
Not sure.
Padres maybe.
Padres.
I don't know.
Who finished?
No,
last
we didn't.
in that division?
We put the Rockies on there.
Rockies. All right, so Dodgers or Rockies.
Dodgers Rockies next time.
So the Rockies could be someone who can compete with the Giants for second.
Yeah, I could see that too.
So we'll push football back to tomorrow. Now we'll get you the Rockies, Dodgers tomorrow, and the NFC East team needs.
Yep.
And whatever else is in the news, because there's no basketball tonight, really. I mean, in New York, let's put it that way.
Yeah, and that's
trying to
really
just cover Northeast teams.
Yeah.
So we got big baseball football day basically tomorrow.
Pumped. Can't wait.
So we'll be back tomorrow.
Yep.
So you're listening to Daily Sports Rant. I'm Matt Stapleton.
Tim Paragone.
And we'll see you guys tomorrow.
Peace out.